Hey, welcome you guys. I'm your niche coach, Alicia Lester, and today on Get Your Shit Together, we are going to be talking about surgeries and body augmentations and things like that. We're just going to, just kind of going under the knife, period, for whatever it is you want to have done for cosmetic reasons. I'm not talking about health reasons. I'm talking about just for cosmetic reasons. So I'm going to share you guys a little bit of my journey. And just in case if there's anyone that has already made the decision to do so, has already done so, or people just want to know, So this is the first time I'm actually speaking publicly about it. The healing is still going on, but I'm about to take you down my journey to let you know who, what, why, and how it all came about. First, though, if I'm going to let you in my business, I need you to subscribe to my business. Now, if you're going to be in it, you got to be in this thing for the long haul. Don't just try to pop in when you want to. I need you to get in this thing. Get in because I'm already ready to give you guys some goods, some ins and outs, ups and downs, and things like that. I only talk to my viewers about things that I personally have gone through, things that I personally know about. I never steer you down the wrong path or some dark path that I have no idea about. I never do that. I really want you guys to know and understand and appreciate my transparency when it comes to certain situations. Again, click subscribe. I didn't forget. Click subscribe so we can get going. I'll wait. All right, y'all should be done by now. All it is just a simple click of a button. So let me take you back to the what, or to the who. Let me take you back to the who. The who is me. I am the patient that we will be speaking about today. So when I was 15, I ended up getting pregnant. And so I was always a very, very skinny girl. I didn't have any butt, boobs, hips, or anything like that. All I just had was just long legs, long arms, no waist. That was it. So I got pregnant. And so I went from being maybe a 95-pound young girl to, I think when I delivered, I was like 162 pounds. And what I didn't know about pregnancy is that it would leave me with like these stretch marks. I thought old people got stretch marks. I thought, quote unquote, fat people got stretch marks. This was just my ignorance. This is just what I thought, and I'm sharing with you guys. So when I had this C-section, not only did I have this cut from side to side, in my growing area, I was left with a ton of stretch marks. Well, for a 15, 16-year-old, this ton of stretch marks, honey, them feelings was hurt. I had no idea that it would leave me and my self-esteem down the way that it did, right? But of course, what can you do about it? You have adults saying that's what you get for getting pregnant. That's what happens when you get knocked up. That's what happens when you try to be grown. That's what you get for trying to have a child and you shouldn't have. So I had to deal with all of those things for years and years and years. Now, when I tell you years and years, remind you, I got pregnant when I was 15. I didn't have this surgery until I turned 40. Okay. So I dealt with it for years. I dealt with my self-esteem going up and down for years. I could control this. I couldn't control what was going on in that stomach. I couldn't control any of that. So dating was kind of hard. Me and my son's father, eventually we broke up. At first, I felt kind of bad because I'm like, he's the only one that know and understand these stretch marks. He know what they are. But that wasn't a reason to stay together at all. So I started to date. And if I dated younger guys, they would be like, oh, what's that? But when I dated older guys, they were just like, okay, all right, mama, I see you. Well, I like that. I like that a little bit better. I like that response better than, what's that? What's that means that's gross. I see you, mama, I understand. I'm old enough and I'm mature enough to know that those stretch marks don't make you who you are. Well, they make you a mom, but it has nothing to do with who you are as a person. Like it doesn't. I like that. That was like music to my ears. So I would cling more to that. I've always been one for a good daddy, always. That was just me. That's just how I was. But I didn't feel pressured. I didn't feel any of those things. I just felt more comfortable in the eyes of someone that was a little bit more mature. So that's what I did. And so throughout life, I would still deal with the ups and downs. The ups and downs, because it doesn't go away, because the stretch marks doesn't go away. So I am getting undressed in the dark. I am afraid to look at myself in the mirror. I am disgusted to look at myself in the mirror. I am body shaming myself. I am uncomfortable with what's going on with me. No one else. When I tell you to this day, I never had anyone say anything, point fingers, or speak on the stretch marks that were on my stomach, but I felt it. I would tell you before you got a chance to see me raise my arms or raise my shirt and see it. I hadn't worn a two-piece swimsuit, a two-piece bikini until this summer, So it took me 24 years to finally get comfortable with me. Isn't that crazy? That is absolutely insane. But that's just kind of how it was. And I was good with it. I was okay with it. By this time, I had a son. He was getting older. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to walk around here with my stomach out anyways. It is what it is. My friends would have swim parties and things like that. I would always have a one piece or a wrap or just something around me because I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I did not fit in with whatever was going on. Honey, I could laugh, joke, play. I can make your day brighter. I could give you some words of encouragement. I could do all of that. But there was nothing that could help me from feeling the way that I was feeling. So, okay. Through the years, I would research. It was just my stomach that I was focused on. I was never focused on boobs. I didn't have any, so I wasn't worried about it. I couldn't miss anything that I never had. But what I had was a very flat stomach. What I had was a very clear stomach. That's what I had. Okay. Cute little belly button, all of that. That's what I had. So that's what I wanted to go back to. By any means necessary. That's what I wanted to go back to. So when I turned 40, I talked to my husband. I'd expressed to him throughout our relationship how I felt about me and my stomach and things like that. And of course, as a man, he's like, oh, baby, you fine, you good, you this, that, and the other. I didn't feel it to myself, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I would love the fact that he felt that way, but I didn't feel it. And so we're still talking about it. Because this was a goal of mine, because this was something that I really wanted to do, I started to do my research. I started to look at other people that had what I thought I wanted to have done, all that. I thought I wanted this mommy makeover, which included like your butt and this lift and the breasts and all that kind of stuff. That's what I thought I wanted. I thought I wanted a mommy makeover. But really, honestly, my main focus, again, was the stomach. I didn't want to look like the video vixen. I didn't want to look like the blow-up doll. I didn't want to look like I was, I didn't want to look like I wanted to look like Mudge, which is my nickname. I wanted to look like just plain old Alicia. I wanted to look like these kids' mama and his wife. That's what I wanted to look like. And that's what I wanted to feel like, right? So when I say doing my research, I'm doing my research. Remember, I'm doing my research kind of on the wrong things because I don't know what to call it. I don't know what the name of it is. I don't know. I want my stomach flat. I don't want these stretch marks. Okay. Is that a tummy tuck? I want that. I want that then, right? While speaking with my husband about it, no matter what our businesses was doing, no matter what increases we may have received or may have been, worked so hard for and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to take money from our home to get this, this surgery. I didn't want to do that. I had to make sure that we were so tight and we were so set and everything was okay that I didn't have to worry about taking and pulling from anything to make this happen. Because was it a necessity? No. Was I going to die? No. So I said, okay, all right. I'm going to save up my checks. I'm going to save up my work checks. So this is what I'm going to do, because when I present this to my husband, I need him to know how serious I am. If I'm willing to save this chunk of my own income, ours, but mine's, I need him to be on board with this thing. And I might need to borrow a little bit. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me present this the right way. He explained to me that I need to not have any lingering debts. My credit needs to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get there's some things I need to get in order. Because you can't walk around here with a brand new stomach and a brand new body, but you have these bills, or you have these debts, or you have these, you know what I'm saying? You're not taking care of business. I mean, your priorities are all out of whack. I can't have a brand new stomach. However, I can't pay X amount for this stomach when you have bills that's either, that total that or less than that, or you could put toward that. So I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. I've never had a lot of debt. I never did, just because that's not something I wanted to bring to the table of my marriage. So any little small things that I had, I knocked those down. I had to knock those down. Matter of fact, I didn't knock them down. I knocked those out. Because again, I had to make this body make sense. I had to do that. I absolutely had to do that. And so I'm sending him videos about what I think I need to have done. And so then I said, can I schedule a consultation? You never know. They might say something that scared me so much that I may not even want to have this done. He said, okay, cool. Y'all, I got on the internet and I scheduled a place that was in my own city. And the reason why I'm going to tell you what I did, then I'll tell you why I did what I did. So I scheduled a place that was in my own city, and I told him the target areas. And so I went in for the consultation, and we talked, and he made the marks, and he did this and he did that. And he was like, what do you hope to achieve? And I'm like, I don't want this stomach, and I don't want these stretch marks. And so he was like, oh, what about your breasts? I was like, all right, cool. They little, I'm good. No problem. Bra still hold them up. They still good. They still good. When I take the bra off, they still sit up. So I don't have a problem with that. What about your butt? Child, I never had a butt. I ain't worried about a butt. I'm not worried about a butt at all, because if I get a butt, then that probably would not be for my husband's attention. That would probably be for the attention of others. That's just me, though. That's just me. Having a flat butt was not one of my insecurities. So I was good with that. So he said, well, if it's just the stomach. I said, I got these little rolls on the side. Everybody was like, Alicia, there's no way you had rolls on the side. I did. I just knew not to wear anything crazy. But I knew what my body was looking like up underneath my sweatsuits. After I had my daughter, who is now 4, and my son, who is now 3, I think that little boy of mine, it's like he knocked something loose. Honey, he knocked something loose that never came back together at all. And so when I got my tubes tied, which was another important point I'm going to talk about too. When I got my tubes tied, I knew my body was different. Honey, I knew my body was different. Even my feet was bigger. Like, I knew something had changed in me that was not going to go and bounce back like everybody said that it would. I didn't breastfeed long enough. I didn't do any of these things. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my God. And I developed a crazy, crazy craving for sweets. So I'm like, whew, this boy just want me to be just a whole nother person. That's what he wants. And so I just knew I didn't feel right in the inside. Anyway, I get the consultation. I do all that. He makes the marks. I do all of that. He said, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get abdominoplasty and abdominoplasty and lipo 360. Okay. He said, but before we do that, I need you to go home and I need you to watch these videos and this, that, and the other, so you can go through the procedure and see what it is and make sure that this is something that you want to do. Then we'll collect your deposit, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, okay. Y'all, I got home and I watched these videos and I was scared. I was scared. I've never been afraid of surgery. I've never been afraid of that. I've had my appendix taken out. I've had a port placed in. I've had stitches multiple times. I've had, you know what I'm saying? I had 3 C-sections. So I'd never been afraid of it. I was just like, whoa. So I was going to be cut from hip to hip this time. So not just the growing area itself, above, like beyond, so growing section and beyond. And so I was like, okay, all right, I could do this. I can do this. I send the video to my husband. He's looking at it. Whole lot of blood, whole lot of this, whole lot of cutting, whole lot of removing, whole lot of jabbing. It was crazy, y'all. It was so crazy. But I was just like, he was like, are you sure this is something you want to do, Alicia? Because you bet not die. Okay? That's all I need to tell you. You have this surgery. Your ass bet not die. Because number 1, you will not leave me here to raise these kids by myself. And number 2, you will not leave me. So you better make sure you don't die. I was like, gosh, okay, I don't think I will. You know, so I know he sound pretty sure that I'll still be here the next day. And so it was very important that I had my tubes tied first, because why go through what I went through just to get pregnant again? So my tubes were already tied, which was a decision we made at my son's birth. A decision more so I made. It was like something whispered on the table and was like, you're done. No more babies. You're done. 3 C-sections. You're done. So I'm like, okay, cool. No problem. So that was important. Having a doctor in my own state was extremely important, because I needed to know that I could get to him, he could get to me in case of an emergency, in case something happened. I didn't want to be in traveling or anything like that. Infection. I don't know. I didn't know any of these things. I'm just looking at what's on these videos, honey, and it wasn't looking too good for me. Okay. So I said, okay, abdominoplasty and lipo 360, which means abdominoplasty would be the tummy tuck. Lipo 360 is they would go around my entire body. I don't know if y'all can see. Not sure. But they'll go around my entire thing and do the lipo. Okay. No problem. You're going to be sore. You're going to be, it's going to be uncomfortable, this, that, and the other. I'm buying all these body garments. I got it all prepared. I got everything laid out. I know what I need to do. Oh, let me back up, because, honey, I'm taking y'all all the way to I had already gave these people the deposit. So let's back up. So I look at all these things. Now with this, I also had a hernia. They found a hernia as he's doing my consultation. So he was like, oh, we could take care of everything all at once. Cool. Okay. You know what I'm saying? No problem. Let's do it. And so that gave me a reason for my surgery. Okay. Because when I'm saying this to my family, this gave me a reason for my surgery. So my mom was like, Mom, I need you to help me with the kids on these days, this, that, and the other. I need you to pick up Bailey. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. So she's like, okay, cool. No problem. What you doing? I said, I'm having hernia surgery. So she was just like, oh, okay. I hear that. Ooh, that could be tough. I said, yeah, girl, I'm getting this hernia surgery. And she was like, okay. I said, they might remove a little bit more skin or something. I don't know, but I'm getting the surgery. So she said, okay, no problem. So I didn't all the way lie to mama, because I know my mom, and I know that she would have been very, very judgmental when it came to that, because she feels like things like that are senseless. And if that's what God wanted for your life, then that's what he would have did. He would have bounced you back. God was taking too long. So I just felt like I needed to do a little bit something with somebody that he put the skills into. That was it. So, y'all, I take them the deposit. I get the garments. I sign the waivers. I do absolutely everything on my part that I need to do. I do everything that I need to do. I'm, contacting some friends, just kind of, discreetly kind of letting them know. And it wasn't about being silent about it. It wasn't about doing it and not wanting anybody to know. It wasn't about that. I would never do anything that I'm ashamed to tell y'all about. I don't give a shit about that. I had a baby at 15. So child, there's nothing that could shame me more than what I went through back then. So I just needed to make sure I healed properly before I got the word out, or before I started telling anybody anything, because people tend to want to try things. And I wanted to make sure I was able to tell them ins, outs, do's, don'ts, ups, downs, pros, cons, right? Which is the reason for today's video. Again, click subscribe. So now it's surgery day, right? It's surgery day, y'all. I get there early. My husband drops me off. We all together. I got on my comfy clothes that they told me to put on. I got on everything that they told me to get. I got everything back home I need. Compression socks, undergarment, all your stuff, right? All your stuff. Now, I remember these people telling me something about some drain tubes, but I guess I didn't really understand where the tubes would actually come from or drain from. I didn't know. Maybe didn't ask 1, 2, 3 more questions, right? So now I get the surgery. Y'all, I was cut from hip to hip. Now, a lot of people that know me, or people that don't, I don't know. I have the type of skin that keloid. So, which was a question that I asked during my consultation. And he didn't assure me that my skin wouldn't keloid. He just said that, it may not, and if it did, it may not be as bad. But there's some things that I need to do on my part to try to minimize the keloiding of my skin. Keloiding is when skin kind of like fills up with fluid and kind of settles, right? Like pockets a little bit. I said, okay, all right. And it comes with like deep lacerations and all that kind of stuff. I know that can be a cause from it, at least for me. So I'm like, okay. Y'all, when I get back up off this table, they give me the best medicine, the best drugs in the whole wide world. When I wake up, I can't move. I can't move. I am stiff. I can't, I'm hurting. I'm numb. I'm all these different things. I finally get my footing together where I can kind of walk, and they're helping me get into the car and all of this. I can't turn. I can't cough. I can't bend. I can't lift. I can't do anything, right? And we go to the pharmacy to fill the prescription. I don't really remember, but I'm guessing this is how it had to go because my husband eventually gets me home. We get the prescription, we get everything. So now my husband see that now we got our work cut out for us. Like, you can't do anything. And you have these, I remember them telling me in detail about these drain tubes. So my stomach is flat. I'm swollen, but honey, I'm snatched. Do you hear me? Completely snatched. And I have these two bulbs, both probably around the size of these little cute little eggs I got, So I have these little bulbs, and I had one hanging on this side and one hanging on that side. The tube itself was inside of my body. As the blood will start to drain, it would go into those drain tubes. As the blood starts to drain inside of my body, it would start to go into those tubes. I would then have to empty the tubes out, the bulbs out. They would fill up with blood. I would have to empty them out. I had to carry these tubes around with me for about 8 weeks, y'all. About 8 weeks straight, I'm carrying these tubes around with me, and I got to dump them. I got to drain them. So, of course, I'm doing it very discreetly. I'm wearing big baggy clothes so you can't see them, or hoodies and things like that. I got my surgery in March of this year. My mother was still alive at this point. So it's so crazy. I had my surgery in March. I lost my mother in May. My mother and my husband is who helped nurse me back to full health and regain full motion during that time. So I had to go ahead and tell Mama the truth, because now she's like, wait a second, you just all the way down, right? So I got these bulbs. They're filling up with blood. I got this tube. It's crazy. I got to go back every single week. Every single week I'm going back to be checked and to make sure that there's no infection, everything is healing properly, make sure everything is doing what it needs to do. They replace my belly button. Once you get a tummy tuck, once you get the abdominoplasty, they replace your belly button. So I had a whole new belly button. I don't even recognize it, but it's new and it's there. So I got the belly button and my sides. My sides were shaved, honey, like all the way down. Where my hands is now, honey, these sides is shaved down all the way around my back. Solid, just flat, right? So was I happy with the results? I'm telling you all the goods, all the goods. So I got this surgery and everything was successful. Everything was good. I did not die. Everything was fine. Everything was absolutely fine. As time went on, I tried to cough. A simple cough. You know how you can be breathing and maybe your air, something may kind of, I had to cough, and I couldn't get the cough out. I couldn't get it out. And I'm trying so hard to cough. I'm trying so hard to cough. I'm trying so hard to breathe. I'd never had my breath taken away like that in my life. I've never had that before. I'm beating on things. I'm hitting things because I need someone to hear me. Finally, my son Noah comes in and he's just like, Miss Alicia, like, are you okay? He grabs me from behind. He's trying to get me to breathe. My husband comes in. He's trying to get me to breathe. Finally, I'm able to catch my breath. So that's when the hard part began. I had no idea that it was going to be that tough. I had 3 C-sections, y'all. This one tummy tuck hit me harder than 3 C-sections. I was on my ass. When I tell you I was in so much pain and discomfort, it was crazy. Like I couldn't, I'm messaging, you know what I'm saying, the small circle that I reached out to, and I'm like, man, like I'm feeling some kind of way. Like, I hope this is normal. I hope this is okay. I'm talking to the doctor. He's assuring me that I'm okay, this, that, and the other, sit up when I'm drinking, try to move, like telling me all these different things I could do. Y'all, it was the craziest thing. A cough almost killed me. That would go on to happen again about 2 or 3 more times. Then at some point, my body had become so fatigued and so tired and so, I don't even know. I stopped taking the medication that they gave me because it had me hallucinating or something. Honey, I was sitting on the edge of my bed crying like hell. I went through buyer's remorse. So now I got this new body that I wanted so bad. And I'm like, but for what? Like this pain, this discomfort, all of this, like, for a flat stomach that I didn't even care about showing. Like, now I'm like, give me my other stomach back. Give me my other shit back. I want my old stomach back because it didn't hurt like this. It didn't make me feel like this. This is how I'm feeling now. That coupled with those meds, it didn't make it any better. So how I was feeling plus the meds, I was down in the dumps, like completely down in the dumps. I went to the doctor. He was like, stop taking the meds. Just take ibuprofen. I flushed the meds so that way nobody could ever get in contact with the meds or anything like that. I flushed those. I started taking ibuprofen. I'm taking ibuprofen. It's making it a little bit easier. It's kind of helping me a little bit more. I'm rubbing my body. I'm doing all these different things, all these different exercises. Every single website in the world have you doing all kinds of stuff, wearing all kinds of garments. I had spent about $400 to $500 on body garments alone just to make sure I'm completely snatched and completely pulled tight at all times. Make sure that everything is circulating the way it needs to circulate. And I got to drain my tubes. I got to drain my bulbs. So I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. Finally, weeks are going by. I can sit up a little bit straighter. I can hold my head a little bit higher. I can move a little bit. This was a gradual process, guys. I was in a lot of pain. I was hurting a lot. Do you hear me? A lot. Loving my results, but I was hurting and I was going through a lot. So finally I go and the doctor's like, oh, 1 more week for the drain tubes, 1 more week, 1 more week, 1 more week. So I'm like, oh gosh, every time I go, you say 1 more week. And then finally he was just like, you know what, if you're at home and you feel comfortable enough taking them out, you can take them out because now they're draining. Now they're not filling up. That means that everything in here is doing what it needs to do because now the blood is not just filling up. Now I just got a little bit of blood, maybe a little bit of tissue, maybe a little bit of, whatever fats, all whatever kind of stuff. That's what's draining: fats, tissues, blood, whatever, fluids, whatever. I've seen that bulb every single color it could possibly be. So I'm like, okay. Sterilization. You have to make sure you are sanitizing and sterilizing everything that you need to do. Like I'm dancing, huh? That's what I was doing from side to side. Everything that I was doing every single day, a couple of times a day. This is what I'm doing to make sure of no infection, no anything. So finally one night, I feel no pain. I feel nothing. I reach up, I reach down, I reach to the side, I reach to the other side. I'm like, I think I can take my tube out myself. And so that's what I did. I snipped them, pulled them, and I was free. Right? I was free. Everything was good. I go back to the doctor. He said, you did well. He's touching my incision. Everything is healing up properly. Everything is good. What's crazy is that with the surgery, having the abdominoplasty and the lipo 360, it pulled me in so tight. It made my boobs appear to be a little bit bigger. And since I have all this back fat, it made my little butt stick out a little bit more. So honey, I got 3 for the price of 1, honestly, because I didn't even have to do nothing to my butt and I have to do nothing to my breast because once everything was kind of smoothed out, I could kind of see myself. So I was like, okay. Again, it still wasn't about keeping it a secret. It wasn't about something I was ashamed of. It wasn't about anything like that. It was making sure my ass did not die and doing what I needed to do in the correct way. But I'm always the kind of person that moves in silence. If you see me, hey, if you don't, fine. So it still took, let me tell you what, how things can be just kind of crazy, how your mind can play so many tricks on you. I still felt like when I would put on a bikini, I still felt like the stomach and the stretch marks was there. Okay. I still felt like these things was there. So it still kind of made me a little bit nervous and a little uncomfortable and all that. I don't know if anybody saw a few months back, I had posted some swimsuit pics, my husband's permission, of course, but that was the first time since I was 14 years old, that I'd ever worn a two-piece swimsuit comfortably. Do you hear me? Comfortably. And it made me feel good. It made me feel good about myself. So that's what brings me to my next thing. I don't care about anybody getting any type of surgery or, cosmetic. I don't care about any of that. Do what you would like to do. That's your business, child. I get my moles removed because I don't like them. It's me. So that was the importance about having the surgery done, is that the surgery was done for me. It wasn't to please anybody else. It wasn't to be beautiful in the eyes of someone else. It was that I wanted to be comfortable what I saw in the next day. Now, would I just recommend this to somebody else? No. It's your decision. You do what you want to do. Honey, no judgment over here. I don't give a shit what you get done. There's no judgment, absolutely none over here. I can just tell you the pros and cons when it comes to me. And I can assure you that if you do this for the right reasons, it'll make you feel a little bit better, honey. Nothing blocks out that pain. You're going to feel like you got hit by a bus. I lied. You're going to feel like you got hit by 3 buses, like back to back. Like when you got up from the other one, you got hit with another one. That's what it felt like, okay? So, again, it's not something that I would just say, oh, girl, do it. You should do it. You should do it. When I say it's, girl, you should do your research. Girl, you better not have any debt. Girl, don't go into debt trying to have this done. You know what I'm saying? All of that. I'm not financing a body. I'm not doing that because I might not want to pay your ass next month. So what you going to do? You going to come back and get my body? I don't know. But I know what I was not going to do is have a bill out there on something that's natural. That's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like not my body. I wasn't going to do that. So, and I could have kept my own natural body if that was the case. But having that surgery was such an eye opener for me. It made me look at life so different. So I know for sure it was needed for me. I got a chance to spend time with my mom. I had no idea that she would pass away 2 months later. But I had a chance to spend time with my mom. My kids spent time with my mom. My mom was able to baby me and kind of cradle me and all of that. Who knew that all that would be taken away, 2 months later? So do I regret having the surgery? Absolutely not. Would I go and have another surgery or have the surgery again? Absolutely not. I just wouldn't. It's a huge setback physically. It's a huge setback physically. I'm still happy with my stomach, still happy with all that I have going on, still excited about being able to wear a bikini. It was about options for me. It was about the options that came along with doing this surgery and having these things done. So it was very, very important to me. This was personal. Turning 40 years old and already having my children, I got grandkids and all that. This was personal for me. So it wasn't about anybody else. It wasn't about somebody being able to approve my body or disapprove of my body or whatever. And people are going to feel how they want to feel. I'm making this video so people could do so. People can feel however they want to feel. People can speculate. They can say all kinds of things. They can do all of that. That's your business. You can do that. I put this there as a help for other people. There are pros and cons to every single thing that you do in this life. Okay. There are consequences to every single thing that you do in this life. Just make sure that whatever you do, you are doing it for the goodness of you and those around you. I took a huge risk by having this surgery, knowing that I had 2 small toddlers at home. I never wanted to get so caught up in vanity that I'm willing to do things that could possibly take me away from my family, which is why I probably would never, not even probably, which is why I would never do it again. There's nothing else that I would like to enhance or fix or anything like that. That was the core of some of my issues. That was the core of some of my insecurities. That's the bulk of my insecurities. So I wanted to make sure that I could do something that was for me. I work hard, and I deserved something for me. Bought and paid for me. You know what I'm saying? So, and most importantly, it was with the approval of my husband. Well, yes, this is my body. Of course it is. But some things you just don't have to do. And that was something I just did not have to do because he loves me no matter what. But I wanted to love me in the same way. That's what I wanted. I wanted to love me in that same exact way. And so that's why I made the decision to go ahead and have that done. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any questions, anything, hit me up, send me a message, inbox me. You can always jump in my DMs. Again, subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more and more updates. I am, I'm about 7 months post-op. And I'm still healing. Now, let me tell you what's one of the crazy things about having the surgery. My body is still numb from right here. Look, right here. To right here. Right here to right here. Numb. Completely numb. Guys, it's the craziest thing. I've talked to doctors, plenty of doctors, all that. The feeling may come back. The feeling may not come back. It may take a while to come back, but whatever. So rubbing my stomach, I can't even feel that. Ain't that crazy, honey? I got a whole stomach I can't even feel. I cannot. I just can't. Which was one of the side effects to having the surgery. So I don't know if everybody else feels this. I don't know. Everybody else is different. Their bodies is different. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Somebody else may have full feeling and full range motion. Maybe mine just hasn't came back yet. I'm not sure. However, there is aftercare. You have to get the massages. You have to get, you have to pay attention to your body. You do. Sometimes I just massage myself just to make sure that everything is going the way that it needs to go and doing what it needs to do. That's just what I do. I still wear my body garments. I go to sleep in, and my husband hated it. Shit's like a door. He said, you got to unlock everything just to get it. Whatever. But, so I still wear my body garments. I still do all of those things. And I can now successfully work out. So I can now do the sit-ups. I can now do the push-ups. I can now do all of those things that I could not do at first. When I tell you, when your muscles are cut, when you can't, everything, you feel everything. Honey, I thought if I passed gas, I was going to shit on myself. I thought if I sneezed, I was going to pop. It was just so many different things. So many different things that you just had to kind of go through. Like, it was a lot. It was absolutely a lot. Like I said, I am happy that I did it. I am very happy with the results. I just would not do it again because it's very, very strenuous on my family. And still being a mom of toddlers, you want to pick them up, hold them, love them, and all of that. But honey, when they kick you in that incision, child, all hell is about to break loose, literally. So I just wanted to make sure that I am always the healthiest that I can be for them. And that for me, that was both mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things for my babies and for my family. Okay. So now mommy's in a great place. Daddy's is like good because mommy didn't die. And the kids, you know what I'm saying? They get a chance to enjoy all of me. And when they jump on my stomach, I can't even feel it. Ain't that crazy? I don't think that's supposed to be like that, but whatever. It was more costly doing it at home than it would be if I had traveled to a different state or somewhere like that. Of course, the price may be a little bit different, significantly different in other states, out of the country and all of that. But I needed to be where my mama could get to me and where my husband could get to me and where my doctor could find me. So I hope I answered some questions. I hope I was able to help make some decisions, whether going forward with it or even stepping back from it or even just waiting. I just want you to do your research. Make sure you do your research. I went to Dr. Biggerstein in Omaha, Nebraska at Surgical Images. I think he was absolutely amazing. His follow-up, his everything. He was so careful with me. He was so great at educating me on what to expect. I have not experienced or seen anything that he did not already tell me that would come. So that was a huge plus. That was a very, very huge win for me. Again, Dr. Biggerstein at Surgical Images in Omaha, Nebraska. He was amazing. I hear there's some great doctors out here in Arizona, all that. That's fine. I'll never know because I'm not going to go see any of them. I've done what I need to do. So I am snatched. I am still alive. And I am excited about, honey, these new swimsuits I'm probably going to buy for next year. And I still don't wear my stomach out like that. But again, it was about having those options. It was about getting undressed and being happy with what I saw in the mirror. So again, thank you guys for coming down my journey with me. I appreciate you. I'm always transparent. I'm always letting you know what's going on. The only things I won't tell you about is my marriage and my money and intimacy. Okay, my own personal. So I don't share any of those things. But everything else, you can have it. No problem. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your niche coach, Alicia Lester. And so y'all see, I just got done getting my shit together. I need you guys to figure out whatever it is in any kind of way that's going to help you continue to get your shit together. And I'm with you every single step of the way. And click subscribe.